Hello, everybody. Glad you could join us tonight. Tonight we have a special guest by the name of Lauren Johnson, and also another guest by the name of Adam Rushlow. Anyways, I'm really certain that you're going to find this quite interesting. Please remember to go to SunPowerLED to the website that's there. But also, if you go to the YouTube channel, just search for SunPowerLED. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch a video or two. There's some great shorts there, like 1-minute videos. And if you like them, please click the like button because it really helps us to reach out our audience to a larger audience. So really appreciate it if you could go to SunPowerLED on our YouTube channel and subscribe and like. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to a video. Okay, here we go.
Hey everyone, and welcome. So today, we're going to dive into some really fascinating technology. It's all about tackling those stubborn aches and pains using something you'd probably never expect. Targeted, powerful light. Let's get right into it. You know the one I'm talking about, right? That ache deep in a joint or a muscle that just lingers. No matter what you try, it's still there. It's that kind of hard-to-reach pain that can drive you crazy. So the big question is, how do you actually get to it? I know, it sounds a little bit like something out of a sci-fi movie, but this brings us to the main question here. Can light really help your body heal? Well, the science behind it is actually surprisingly solid. Okay, so there's a big science-y word for this. Photobiomodulation. It's a mouthful, I know, but the idea behind it is actually super simple. It's a clinically proven method where you use very specific types or wavelengths of light to basically give your cells a little boost. This helps kickstart your body's natural healing process to reduce things like pain and inflammation. It's like a helping hand made of light. Okay, so we know the science is solid, but how do you actually use it? How do you make it work for you effectively? And that's where this specific technology, SunPowerLED, enters the picture. Because it's not just about any light, it's about delivering it with some serious power and precision. So the whole thing is the brainchild of an inventor named Tom Kerber. And here's the key innovation he came up with: a special cooling system. Now, why on earth does a cooling system matter for a light? Well, think about it. If you can keep those LEDs from overheating, you can crank up the power way up. And more power means that light can actually sink deeper into your tissues to get right to the source of the problem. And this leads to another really key difference you can see here. A lot of other devices out there can create what they call hot spots, basically uneven patches of light. But SunPowerLED was engineered to give you this consistent, smooth, even wall of light. That means the whole area you're treating gets the exact same dose. And that consistency, it's absolutely crucial for getting real results. Now, this kind of tech doesn't just pop up out of nowhere, right? It's been tweaked and improved over time, and you can really see that story unfold when you look at how the products have evolved. It all started with the Palm Classic. That one used a 660 nanometer red light, which was awesome for things like skin and circulation. Then they kicked it up a notch with the Palm Professional, which added an 810 nanometer wavelength to get deeper into joints. After that, they launched the Palm Ultimate. It used the same wavelengths but boosted the power by a whole 25%. So each new version was designed to go deeper and work faster. And all of that research, all that evolution, has led to this, the newest and most advanced model in the lineup, the Super Palm 1050. So what's the big deal here? It's all about a brand new wavelength, 1050 nanometers. This isn't just a random number. It's based on clinical research that shows this specific near-infrared light can get deeper than ever before. We're talking about reaching tissues that other wavelengths just can't touch. So what does that really mean for you? It means this device is built for the really tough spots. Think about big joints like your hip or those deep muscles in your back. You know, the stubborn aches that just don't seem to respond to anything else? And since it's so much more powerful, treatment times are generally faster too. And you know what's really cool? For all this advanced tech, using it couldn't be simpler. It literally has two settings. Setting 1 is that visible red light, the 660 nanometer one, which is perfect for prepping the area and getting blood flowing. Setting 2 switches on the 1050 nanometer near infrared light. And here's the wild part. The most powerful light, the one that goes the deepest, it's completely invisible to the naked eye. So for all you tech specs folks out there, let's peek under the hood for a sec. We're talking about an average of 7.5 watts of power for the red light and 6.5 watts for the near infrared. That is a ton of energy. And it's all focused on a 40 square centimeter area, which is roughly a 3-inch circle. Pretty good coverage. Okay, so whenever you talk about this much power, two big questions always come up, right? First, is it safe? And second, does it actually work? Let's talk about the proof behind the power. First off, let's talk about why they chose LEDs instead of lasers. This wasn't an accident. It was a very specific choice. LEDs are generally way safer for you to use at home, and you don't need a doctor looking over your shoulder. Plus, they do a better job of covering a large area evenly compared to a pinpoint laser beam. And they really went all in on the safety features, which should give you some serious peace of mind. These devices are FDA registered as a Class 2 device. You're not getting any of that harmful UV radiation, there's no EMF radiation to worry about, and they even built in temperature monitoring to make sure things never get too hot. It's all about making sure it's safe for you to use at home. But, okay, certifications are one thing. What are actual people saying about it? Here's one from Bruce H., who says it has, quote, awesome healing properties with no side effects. He even says he's recommended it for several chronic conditions. That speaks volume. Now, this next one. This one is really something else. It's from a user named Paul H. He said his son had a severe concussion, and that, quote, in 3 treatments with the helmet, his vision was restored and his brain fog was cleared. Just, wow, that's a pretty incredible story. And you know, it's not always just about the gadget itself. Sometimes it's about the company behind it. This last quote from Russ C. really speaks to that. He says he called to ask questions and ended up speaking directly with the inventor, Tom Kerber, who took time to answer everything. That kind of personal touch really builds a lot of trust. So when you put it all together, the science, the way the technology has evolved, and these real-world stories, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? For all those aches and pains that are buried deep down, could the key to relief be unlocking your body's own amazing potential with just a little bit of targeted light?
All right. So I hope you enjoyed that, found that a little informative, and please, love to hear your comments about that video clip. Now what we're going to do is ask Lauren Johnson to join us, and I think you'll find it very interesting, her story of how she's been able to use the light, and hopefully everything works okay. There we go. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Tom.
How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for
Wow,
asking
wow, did
me.
you ever dress up for me? I got to get my act in
Aw.
gear here.
Aw. I got my
So,
pajama bottoms on, though.
oh, no. That's good. That's good. So, tell me so how did you find out about us first?
Well, I listened to a webinar, I guess you call it, with Ari Whitten, and he had you on as a guest. There was actually 2 of them, part 1 and part 2, right?
Yes, they were very detailed.
I purchased my the Palm right after that, the Ultimate, because I don't know. I really liked you too, and I still do. You're so honest. You're real, you're not a salesman. You're just a regular cool guy. So yeah, I purchased it, and I would called and talked to Faith, your gal that works for you, and she was wonderful. And then I was able to talk to you, and I'm struggling with a C diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
And you said this wonderful prayer for me, and I just felt, I don't know, I got my palm, and then I said, well, I got to cover more ground here. So I love my palm though. You can take it anywhere. I watch it. I use it while I'm watching TV at night for a couple hours. I just move it from different joint to joint, my hands, and then anyway, I'm probably getting carried away here, but
Oh, that's fine. It's fine.
yeah, I bought the Mini-Canopy. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm actually invited onto your show to talk about my knees, but I do my chest, my back, I do my knees first.
Mm-hmm.
I do the inside of my knees. I lay on my back and, have that Mini-Canopy cover most of my leg, a lot of my
Yeah.
legs.
Yeah.
And oh, it just feels so good. And then I roll over and do the front of my legs and my knees. And it just takes the pain away. I'm 74. So one knee is really good since I've been using it. I had Baker's cyst behind each knee. I mean,
Oh.
so painful, both legs.
And when does a person with Baker cyst feel that pain? Is it
Oh, anytime. Any time of the day or night, because you could wait. I sleep heavy, and for me to get woke up with some major pain, I've never had that before.
right?
And if your legs sit in one position for, let's say, while you're sleeping for a half hour, And then you wake up when you've got these Baker cysts, you can't move your legs. They hurt so bad.
Oh,
It's
okay.
they're unbelievably painful. And so one is really good. My pain level is about a 1 on that
Okay.
one.
Right.
And the other one, when I wake up in the morning, it's probably a 5,
Okay.
and I can get that down to a 1, and then
Are you taking any drugs?
no, no,
Okay.
I don't do
So
well with
this is a,
ibuprofen or, yeah, all
yeah, no, this is
natural.
good. Long term, you're not doing damage to other parts of your body, whether
No.
liver or kidneys or whatever.
Mm.
There's usually a side effect with most drugs, and
Oh, there is. I bruise real easy when I'm on those because it thins your blood, and I get these massive bruises if I go on a leave or something. I don't need it. But I don't know with my left leg. I don't know if it's ever going to go away at my age and stuff, but man, it sure is manageable. I can go for walks. I couldn't go for a walk,
right.
you know? And as long as I don't get really carried away, I'm in really good shape. But every once in a while I just go crazy because that's my middle name, So, but no, and then at night I put the palm on,
Right.
while I'm watching murder mysteries. I've got the palm on my knee, and it just between the two, the morning and night, I'm really, really good.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So did you find anywhere else you've used it on your body?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I have bad arthritis in my hands, and I use it on my hand, my fingers. They're really crooked. You can probably see them here.
Yeah.
Look at them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I use them while I'm watching TV, maybe 20 minutes on one hand.
Right.
And then when I'm done, I go, oh, it feels so good. It takes it away, takes the pain away.
Hmm.
And I also use it on my thyroid, but I don't have any proof with tests to show you guys or anything like that. But all I know is that my thyroid's working really well. I
Hmm.
use it for maybe 10 minutes, um, maybe 3 minutes with the red, and then maybe 10 minutes with the
Near
near
infrared.
infrared.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And I do that once a day because I've heard, like, I've been doing research on it that you got to kind of keep it up, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
something that works very, very well if you do it on a regular basis. And although you
Yeah.
could stretch it out from here and there, but I have had
Mhm.
some people say they notice when they go on a trip or something like that, that if they don't bring the light with them,
Oh,
that
they have to.
yeah, exactly. And now there's power outlets on the plane, and
Yeah.
you can actually plug your unit in. They have no problem with you bringing those on the plane because there's no lithium batteries in the device, so it's very safe to use on the plane. And I've had people getting treatments when they're 5 miles into the sky.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll
Yeah.
have to
So
remember that. Oh, I'd
yeah.
always bring mine with me. I'd be tempted to bring my canopy, my mini
Yeah.
canopy, but it's
I,
kind of heavy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, it does. It just, I would, easy way is to have it in your roller bag because it does fit
Hmm.
inside the roller bag, the mini canopy. And we've gone to
Yeah.
a lot of different functions where we have the mini canopy and the helmet and the palm units. And I usually take the mini canopy, and sometimes I can fit in a helmet in my carry-on and the roller bag. And usually it fits unless it's one of these really small planes, it'll fit in the overhead compartment. And if it doesn't
Yeah.
fit in the overhead compartment, all you do is slide out the mini canopy and put it under your seat, under the seat in front of you. But
Yeah.
only thing is, if anybody goes on a flight, I'm just going to say, be nice to the people around you. Don't hold your red light up and illuminate the whole cabin, you know,
Oh, yeah.
with the bright
No.
red. So
Oh, and I also use it for I would love to get the mini no, the
helmet.
the helmet. I would
Yeah.
love it. And when I'm watching TV at night, I just do each section of my head.
Sure, you no, exactly. And
you
And
know?
I don't know where I will be, but when you approach 110, you've got a good reason why and you're able to tell everybody, hey, listen, I'm still using my Palm because it's still working. Because the guy told me it can run for 50,000 hours, and I'm not there yet.
Right, right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
well, Lauren, it's been a pleasure having you on tonight. And where are you located?
I'm in Livermore, California,
Okay. All
Northern
right.
California,
All
the
right.
Bay Area. Bay
Okay.
Area.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight. This has been wonderful. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Tom. You're the best.
Okay. All right. All the
Take
best. Bye
care.
for now.
Bye.
Okay. Our next guest is Adam Rushlow, and Adam has been working with me. He's been helping me big time on the to try and get more people to find out about us through his marketing company. And so, Adam, I thank you so much for coming on tonight. And you got to know. So, how did you end up meeting me?
Full disclosure, my brother-in-law also works for Tom. Uh, Brother-in-law Paul, if you're ever dealing with sales and you're trying to get some more information, you can always reach out to Paul Harrington. He's the VP of sales. But Paul, his son, my nephew, actually had a concussion, and Paul and Tom go to church together, and made a connection through the prayer chain when Paul had listed that his son had really bad effects from a concussion. Tom reached out, of course, said, "Hey, come on in, try the helmet." And virtually instantly, within a day, all of his symptoms went away. So Paul has been a big fan of red light. That kind of extended through our family circles, and then. Myself in February, I guess it was, right, Tom? We got connected through Paul. He introduced me to Tom on a conversation. We were looking, honestly, just he asked my opinion on a contract, a marketing contract, and I gave my opinion. And then Tom turned around and said, "Great, why don't you do the work for us?" And then next thing you know, I've been running all over the country and all over Canada with Tom together. So we've been having fun this year.
Yeah, no, that was great, and to work with you guys are fantastic. And now the last time there, well, you've had it happen before, but for me, it was the first time that both the wives came out to one of the event, and man, they did a great job on setting things up and helping to
Yeah.
set things up and helping to tear them down. I mean, it was just over the top. I mean, I was still a little bit fried from the travels, and just to know that everything just kind of popped in place and went very, very well. Thank you. The women have all that. Women always have that extra special touch, don't they?
Well, that and full disclosure there too, both of our wives grew up on a beef farm, so they're strong Canadian women that grew up on a farm, so they can outwork Paul and I any day. So,
So what kind of things have you seen? You've been at the shows, so tell us a couple things that you've seen firsthand with the helmet or the palm lights or whatever. Tell us a
sure.
few stories.
Yeah, it's been really cool. Like, I mean, just right from the start, even, I think the very first event I went to was in New York City, and I mean, we saw people treating everything from knees to head injuries to, one lady with breast cancer was trying out the Mini-Canopy, and we had one lady come through, and she was treating her dog, who has issues with its lungs and breathing and stuff. And over a couple days, kept coming back, treating the dog over and over and over. And the dog started to seem to breathe much better by the end of the conference. And so it's just been cool. I mean, just I remember being in San Diego. We saw a guy on the security team who had just this huge head congestion cold going on, and he kept coming back about every 6 hours. And he'd grab the palm and he would just sit at our booth like this for about 5 minutes. And he'd walk away and he could breathe for another 6 hours, and then he'd come back and do it again, and really relieved his cold. So
Yeah.
it's been really neat seeing a lot of the different effects of the red light.
Well, at the last show that we were at, when the one woman she broke her ribs. Now, were you there at the time when that happened?
No,
She could hardly lift her arm. She says, "I just
yeah,
broke my ribs a week ago," and she
yeah.
said, "I'm in a lot of pain. Can that help?" And we put her under the mini canopy, and she she was able to start lifting her arm up. And remember that? That was crazy. And she started poking her at her ribs, and she says they're not as painful. Like I can poke it. So pretty neat that
Yeah,
way.
very
But
cool.
yeah, but most recent is your mom. Tell
Yeah.
the audience about your mom.
Yeah, so my mom, so I grew up in South Jersey, outside of Philadelphia, and we live in Tennessee now. We've been here for about 4 years, and we moved my mom down about a month ago. And mom has had diabetes for a number of years, 20, 25 years, something like that, through most of her adult life. And she over the years has started to have lots of eye issues, never had great sight, but that's just gotten worse and worse. So she's been diagnosed with diabetic retinopathy and has all the issues going on with that. So she has quite poor eyesight. And we got her moved down here about a month ago. And 2 weeks ago, we went in for her first official visit with her new ophthalmologist here in town. And as they went through all of the typical, just rescreening everything, of course, they put the charts up, and she could read the E, the big E. That's the first big giant letter, and that's all she could read from sitting there, 10 feet away. And she couldn't read anything below that. And so they were getting her scheduled. She does the shots every few months for her eyes. And so they were getting her scheduled, and her first shots were yesterday. And so last week I was with Tom in Calgary, and I brought home another one of the Palm devices, and we thought we'd give it a shot. So on Sunday afternoon, just a couple days ago, I sat down with my mom and showed her how to use it, and 2 minutes on the red, and then 2 minutes on the near infrared on each eye. We did that a few times on Sunday. I think she did it 3 or 4 times on Sunday, and then just once yesterday morning before the appointment. We went in for the appointment, and they went and did a recheck of all of her eyes and doing all the things again. And when she went to read the charts, she could, with her right eye, read the second row, and with her left eye, she could read the third row. And so she had told me that morning she felt like her vision was like already clearing up, and she's in like a retirement community where they have like a big dining room.
Right.
And she had commented that morning, she said, I could like identify people from across the room. I knew who it was. And normally I can't tell who it is. I could see people over there. I can't tell who they are from across the room. And she noticed at breakfast that day that she knew who it was from across the room. And so just that quickly in less
And
than 24 hours
yeah,
after a
that's
few treatments.
crazy. That's
So,
crazy.
yeah.
But no, it's not the first time. Like this is where the one guy that we have a video short on, if people go to our SunPower LED, go to the YouTube channel, they can watch one of the shorts that's only like a minute and a bit. And it's the one fellow from Colombia that was totally blind for 3 years because of diabetic retinopathy. And he just started with the light. And his cousin had actually used the light. And I know the cousin met her and used the light on both eyes. And after 3 days, he had to go somewhere. But he said to her, he said, I can see some light shadows. He could tell that something, but he couldn't make anything out. And then he went away for 2 months and came back. And she did a few more light treatments. And she says, you're wearing a blue dress with white flowers on it. And she was. And we got a video, follow-up video where he's driving down the street, turning around and coming back on his motorcycle.
Wow.
And he has returned to being a motorcycle mechanic.
Wow.
We've got the one woman in north of Toronto that 95 years old, and for a whole year she was totally blind. And after 10 days of doing the light treatment every day, she was able to see her daughter's face for the first time in a year. I just can't imagine what that's got to feel like to be able to once again be able to see.
Yeah.
We take our eyes very much for granted. They're so beautifully designed and everything, and yet when you lose it, that's when you really notice that you're just not you're missing something big. And so it was funny in her case, she's a real hockey fan. And she was able to read the jersey numbers, and she knew all the players because by listening and hearing, she knew all the players that way. And she was able to identify the hockey puck being used. Like read the jersey numbers and actually see the puck. Now, even that's kind of hard to do when they're traveling along the ice that,
Yeah.
and she said she wanted to be able to see the Maple Leafs win the cup, the Stanley Cup. And I said, well, that'd be a bigger miracle than her eyesight. Yeah. So, anyways, it's so what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do Adam. I'm gonna anything else you wanted to add that you thought of? Um,
The only other thing I'll say, I mean, for me, I mean, I'm younger, obviously. Well, I like to think I'm younger. I'm 44, but I've been using it myself just as I kind of got into this, like learning about this stuff. I thought I'd try it out. And so Tom has been kind enough to let me use one of the devices in between our shows. And I've been using it on sciatica, and I had some tendonitis in my Achilles for a little while. And so I was using it on both of those things. And I noticed a significant difference. And now we keep it next to our bed, next on the nightstand, and my wife and I take turns in the morning when we wake up before we go to bed at night. We each take turns on whatever hurts that day.
hey, do you have the picture that you shared with me on your phone with
Would-
the taking a picture of the house?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just
There
think
you
it's
go.
such a cool picture. Oh,
There you go. Can you see that?
do you see the one room? It's kind of red looking.
So I drove up the other night, and this is our kids' room up in the upper left. And I drove up into our cul-de-sac coming home from church, and I see this red glow up in the room. And
That's that's like my brother. My brother lives across the driveway from where my mom used to live. She's passed now, year and a half ago. But she had hurt her back, and so I got her the Mini-Canopy, the one that's this one here, the foot square guy. And so when you turn this guy on, I mean it is bright. So my
oh
brother
yeah,
said he at first my mom she was 93, and she said she had a bad fall and really hurt her back. And I said to her first, I says, Mom, this is easy to use. Oh, I don't know, Tom. I says, no, just all you need to do is turn this switch, and oh, okay. And and so she started using it. And my brother one night he woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and he looks across the driveway and he sees the whole house red. So
yeah.
she ended up treating herself in the middle of the night by the Mini-Canopy. So she actually turned around very, very quickly from a bad fall. If you can imagine at 93, the last thing you want to do is have
Mm,
a bad fall. And that's what,
sure.
so pretty neat how that, yeah. So,
Something I'll mention on actually what that was. I didn't even think to mention this, but we've actually been using that was our son using the red light, and he had an accident a week ago tonight on his mountain bike, and a pretty severe impaled his lower abdomen with the end of the handlebar, and so ended up in the ER. Had in the end he was fine, but it was a pretty significant
so
puncture
he
wound.
got the handlebar right in his gut.
Got the handlebars turned sideways. He ran like gut straight into it, and it went all the way through. Fortunately, didn't puncture the perineum or hit any of that, but he had stitches, and it went through all the fat and the muscle and everything else. So he's actually been using the red light on the wound for the last week, 3 times a day. And we've been using it like 2 minutes and 3 minutes, red and near infrared. And that was actually from his room upstairs when he
Okay.
was getting ready to go to bed, and he was up there on his bed using it. And it's really helped. The wound is healing up real nice. Got the stitches out today, a week after that happened. And so everything's healing up very clean. So,
Yeah, no, that's great. And also, you never know. It could have staved off infection. It's
mhm.
something that we've seen where infections can be pushed back as well. So, Adam, I'm going to thank you very much for tuning in
You bet.
tonight and joining us. It's been great.
Thanks, Tom.
So now I'm going to just go on to our yep. Okay. So I'll just talk a little bit about the light technology. So we have the different devices. We have, let's see, I'm just going to look here. So let me grab the right one. So we have the Palm Professional, and the Palm Professional has the red wavelength and the near infrared wavelength. And there you can see the purplish dots glow. That's the professional, and we're selling that at $975. And then we have so that has the 660 and 810. And then we have the ultimate, and the ultimate is 25% more power coming out of the unit. So it's able to go we figured a little bit deeper, and we figured out how to make it happen. So then we have the near infrared more powerful as well. So that's what the ultimate's about. That's for $1,300. And then we have the Super Palm, which has the same power at the 660, the red, as much as we can possibly put out of this device. And then we have the near infrared. Now, this case, the near infrared, when you look at it, you don't even see, all you see is one little dot there, that red dot. I don't see those purplish dots. Those purplish dots are only because the camera is picking that up. Otherwise, it's totally invisible. That's the 1050, and that's a $1,900 device. And I will say, if over the next 24 hours, if you use the promo code webinar10, that's webinar10, I'll pass along some savings to you, so you get 10% off the price of of any of the Palm units as well. We have the Mini-Canopy. That's this guy here, and this is actually has a stand, comes complete with a stand, so you can move it every which way. And you have the 660 nanometer wavelength, as you see, and that the LEDs are really close together, so it's extremely even light output out of the whole area. So there are no hot spots. And then we have the 810 nanometer, and this device is like very powerful. So you'd have to if you tried to buy one of those like panels on, you'd have to take one of those great big ones and squeeze it down to like this. Now you're getting close to the power density we have coming out of our Palm, same power out of the Palm unit. So it's 15 times the area, about 12 times the power of, or 12 of these in the optical power coming out of that Mini-Canopy. And then we have the helmet. This device here we have two models. We have the regular helmet, and it has the two wavelengths. It has the 660 nanometer wavelength, and it also has the 810. You'll see the little purplish dots in there, kind of. It's kind of hard to see, but the little purplish dots there are the 810 nanometer. And if somebody wants to get the 1050, it's $1,500 more, because the LEDs are there we go, and there we go, and I can turn it on right now. And I should do the rest of the webinar this way, because I missed my treatment today, but I like to get the treatment in, and it feels great. So that's the 660, and then that's the 810 right now. So usually what a person does is 1 minute of the bright red and 3 minutes of the near infrared. I do have some biohackers out there that they've tested how long they can keep it on their head, and they have had no adverse effects whatsoever. None of them that they told me about, but no, it's really quite safe. But you definitely feel really, really good, as far as it just feels like you just had a brain massage. And what's helpful for strokes, concussions, Parkinson's, dementia, Alzheimer's, even there's an improvement for autism. And that's because with all those conditions, they're finding out that there's a common thread amongst all of those things, and that is you end up having inflammation on the brain in the process. So if you use the light, just like you can reduce inflammation in your shoulder because of the optical power that we have, you can also reduce inflammation in the brain. And when you're doing that, the brain starts being able to work a little bit better. So for any one of those devices, the helmet is $6,500 for this guy here. And if you want the super model, the 1050, it's $1,500 more. That's all on our website. You can easily order on the website. And as I mentioned before, any one of the, if you choose to buy one at this point, you can use the webinar 10 and get a 10% discount. So that's our lineup of devices. There's a few more that'll be coming out, different models for different things, but nothing that that's covered what you see here. We're looking at maybe in the a neat new type of device for oral work for inside the mouth. Really cool stuff. So that'll be coming, and you'll start to see that pop up on the website. If you do want to, though, it is possible to use a oral probe that we had that can be used to bring light inside the mouth. It's in amongst the products that you can see there on our website. That just snaps. It has a special plate that has the probe on it, and you just snap it into the device. And now this probe comes out. I don't see the probe here right now, but it just comes out, and then you can use it inside your mouth to direct the light that way. So now we're getting to answering a few questions here that we got coming up. I want to thank you to those that have offered their thoughts on watching the little video that we had. A great video. Just a number of comments. Okay. Michael is asking, where do you place the Palm device for the Baker cyst? Were you diagnosed by ultrasound? I'm not sure in this case, and Lauren is I'm not sure if her situation, but definitely she suffered from the Baker cyst for a while. Lauren did answer. She said, I placed the palm directly on the Baker cyst behind my knees. There you go. That's her answer. Thank you for that, Lauren. Okay. Carrie is asking, were the vision improvements all due to diabetic neuropathy? Yes, that is something that's very common. Carrie, is that, and we've seen now a few cases of the diabetic retinopathy where people have been able to see better, as well as with wet macular degeneration and dry macular degeneration. And also there is glaucoma as well with the pressure in the eye. Lena is asking, is there any research or information on the use of the device for osteoporosis? Yeah, as a matter of fact, if you want to look up research, please go to the SunPowerLED website and go on the research tab right across the top, scroll down, and you'll see research PBM database, which is like over 7,500 research articles that are there. So you could put in osteoporosis and look it up and read about it. We know that there's others that have done research on bone growth and how it improves bone growth. Hey, I want to say hello to my good friend Assad. I was going to give you a call, Assad, but I'm I don't know. I've had a pretty busy week, but Assad had broke his front of his or forearm, and the neat part was they put the a splint over his arm. They didn't put the plate in right away because he had to wait for at least 4 days or 5 days. Anyways, so he did the treatments during that time, and that helped him. So when he went in for the operation, they were quite surprised that he was able to start bending his fingers and his thumb a little bit. And apparently when you break that part of your arm, the swelling is so much that it just stops all nerve control, muscle control. You can't do anything with your hand. And the fact that he was able to reduce the pain fairly well as well by using the light right away on those areas from the unfortunate accident. Tawny, it said the video was awesome. Thanks, Tom. Great job. Thank you, Tawny. Yeah, so very interesting. Autoimmune disorders is when the immune system goes awry and starts attacking your own parts of the body. So that can be anywhere. It can be in connective tissue. Thank you, Jennifer, for your question. It could be in connective tissue, could even be in the thyroid. So one woman had autoimmune disorder where she was hypothyroid, which means that your thyroid is not producing properly. So there's a number that's called TSH. TSH should be running around 1.7. So as the number increases, your body is telling the thyroid produce more thyroid. So you're kind of outside of the range once you're past 2. Anything above 2, your body is not producing enough thyroid. So it just keeps raising the numbers. So in this case, this one woman, younger woman, she was severely hypothyroid. One of the challenges it does is it causes weight gain because your body is not metabolizing. It's basically when you're hyperthyroid or hypothyroid, your thyroid is not giving the thyroid hormone T4. And when it doesn't, your body slows right down. The opposite of that is called hyperthyroidism. That's when your thyroid, your T4 levels go way up. Okay, not TSH, it's a T4 levels. And when the T4 levels go really high, you start losing weight. You start getting the shakes. Your heart starts racing. All sorts of things happen when the thyroid T4 levels. Now, I'm not a doctor. I just learned along the way, so I'm just passing along information. I am not prescribing anything here. I'm just telling you what can happen. Anyways, in her case, she had her TSH was not between 1 and 2 or 0.5 and 2. Her T4 levels were, or TSH levels were a 21, which is off the charts. Like it's just screaming, please give me more T4 thyroxine through the body. So she just had her blood work, and the next day I met her, and so she started using the light on her thyroid here, and she really wanted surgery to correct some kind of problem in her pinched nerve. And you can't, when your thyroid levels are way out of whack, you can't do surgery because it's dangerous. They need to have the thyroid in the right levels. So the endocrinologist had called her in to tell her that there's no way she could have the surgery. Well, her mom was with her and said, "Well, I want you to do another blood sample." And with T4 and TSH and those things, it takes a month, takes 2 months before you get some change happening. So the fact that she was it's 5 days after the first blood analysis. The endocrinologist just shook his head and basically said, there's no way it's going to change. And her mother was insistent to get the levels, the blood panel done. So finally, he caved and decided, okay, I'll get her out of the office if I finally agree to do the blood test. So she did. She had the blood test done at day 5. And at day 10, he called her back in. He says, this is, oh, and she had mentioned that the mother had mentioned she's doing this red light therapy on her thyroid. And he just said, that's not going to make any difference. Well, anyways, at day 10, he called her back in and said, hey, your TSH has dropped tremendously. It dropped from 21 to 6. And basically, he said, I've never seen that before. So what's happening is that the light is actually helping the immune system to work properly. It's backing off this problem of misidentifying the problem, so the immune system was working more correctly. So he says, I just got to take another blood sample. We got to see this. So at day 10, he took another blood sample. He called her back to say that she could have the operation because in her blood TSH was now in the normal range at 1.7. So she went from 21 to 1.7 in 10 days. So that is amazing stuff. So that meant that when she'd be at 1.7, it just said, hey, now you're making enough. Don't have to make too much more. And so the T4 levels would have been proper. So that would help her also reduce weight over time because a low T4 level is like it's just your body is not cranking out the energy properly. So that's what that's all about. I happen to know a fair amount about hyperthyroidism and all of that because my wife had hyperthyroidism, and that was a long story. We'd have to go on for till 8:30 right now to continue the whole story. But anyways, if only we would have known about the light therapy back then. So Susan, it's possible that if you did do the treatment with the oral probe, it might help to help with that situation inside the nose. Yeah, so okay, and you know what? It may be, Susan, I would say you might 4 days you're talking about that you've done the treatment so far. It might take you 2, 3 weeks. Maybe you'll see faster results, but as you are treating from now from external, you may see it. It's just maybe not long enough yet. So maybe a little more patience. Yeah. So what bone growth? Deborah, so they found that when people break their ribs or break other parts of the bones, that they can use light and red light therapy or photobiomodulation, the more correct or newer term. The new proper term that they're using is photobiomodulation, so PBM. Instead of red light therapy, cold level laser therapy, low level light therapy, and the list goes on and on and on. And now they've decided to use photobiomodulation as the searchable term. The academics got together and figured that one out. Okay, thank you for your feedback there, Carrie. On yeah, you got to. We're trying to keep the video short as well. So when we said give a little boost, we just wanted to try and keep it short because I've heard now that in marketing, as you know, I like to tell as much as I can, but in marketing, apparently if the person hasn't heard what they want in the first 60 seconds, they're already on to something else. So we're just trying to keep as much information packed in there. But yes, it's a boost. It's the optical power, light power can be absorbed by the mitochondria, which is the power plant inside the cell. And when that mitochondria has full energy in it, it's like filling up the gas tank on the car. You can go a long ways, or giving it super octane fuel, which will help it run better and more pep. That's what you're doing with the light therapy. You're actually able to use the light in the cell. The cell can absorb it in the mitochondria, and they figure all diseases now are linked to mitochondrial dysfunction. Okay, I think Assad said this is okay to share. So Assad said, I use the red light a lot. This is the fellow that broke his forearm. He used the red light a lot for 7 days before they had 7 days before they had time to do the surgery. And the doctor was surprised I had movement with my fingers, even though my forearm radial bone snapped. I did tell him I used the red light. Oh yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with it. But I'm amazed you're healing so fast. But no, that red light therapy doesn't have anything to do with it. Yeah, yeah, right. So you know what? It's great. The last year and a half, I have so many doctors that I've been working with that have been able to experience the light. And next weekend, I'm going to be in Virginia at Virginia Medical Freedom Alliance, and one of the doctors who's the president of the organization. She got one of our helmets. She's a psychiatrist, and she's been able to help a number of people with different cognitive issues. But also, she ended up using the light somebody's put it lowered down to the floor, and she was able to use it for treatment of a diabetic foot injury. So all across whether it's the top of the head or the bottom of the feet, anywhere in between, you have cells in your body everywhere. And the light can be used to give energy to those cells, and then they can do a bunch of good stuff. I think we're at the 8 o'clock mark, and I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed the program and found Lauren's testimony as to how the light was helping her with the different conditions, and also for Adam, and how it's been able to help his mom and some others as well. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Please remember to go to if you don't do it right now before you forget, go to the SunPowerLED YouTube channel, subscribe and like, and also on all these devices for the next 24 hours, we got webinar 10. If you'd like to place an order, you get 10% discount. So all the best to everyone. Thank you for joining us, and may God richly bless you. Bye for now.